Now, let us dwell on Adobe Photoshop one by one. In this second video, you are going to learn how tools work and how you can use them. Then the benefit of design is that to understand how tools work, because what you will do with the tools is your business, and what you will design with the tools is your business. So when you know how to use the tools, it's better. So what you need to know by now is the principles of design, and you need to know how to use tools. And for now, we are going to learn how to use tools. This is more important. In our last video, we left it from there. So let's go directly to how to use tools. Now, we have our tools on this side. This is our toolbar here, okay? And these tools, you can remove them and again click and hold them back. The moment you hold them back, as you still hold them, you can point them at where they were until they give you a sign of color change like that. Then if you leave them, they pin. Okay, same to anything that you see on the interface. I can remove this one here, I can remove this one here. You see, I can remove these ones here. I can deorganize everything. But you've not done anything that is wrong that will make you not continue with your design. So you can still reorganize them as you wish. To reorganize them as they were, you just need to take it to that side or to here, and it comes here. Now the difference is, if you bring it on top and you see a one line, it means it's going to be on top of that layer, on top of the layer. But if you bring it in a box inside, not a line, now in a box, it is going to be inside the box. You see now the layer is here, it is here. If you bring it under, okay, if you bring it under, it's going to be at the bottom. You see, this is at the bottom, this is inside, at the bottom, inside. So it means we have LAN, library, agreement. If I leave it here, they will now be 4. You can see that, okay? But you can also bring it outside, then pin it under, okay? We need one line under, or you can just merge it inside, okay? From there we are okay. Now guys, now we need to understand how layers work. The first layer, which is layer number 1, which is also known as move tool, okay? Move tool is just like your hand that you use on moving things. You want to place object 1 at the center, object 2 at the bottom. So move tool just work, as you can see I'm working with my photo. So you see the way you see how my photo is. This is my photo, so I want to move it here, I want to move it here, I want to move it here. That is the work of this tool here called move tool. For you to move an object here, for you to move object down, for you to move object on the all direction, that is done by this object called move tool. Now you understand. Now next we have these tools called rectangular marquee. Rectangular marquee can be used to draw a color, okay? Can be used to draw a color like this. Upon drawing a color, we need to understand something called layers. For you to understand the layers, you will come to Windows and click on layers here. The moment it shows it is ticked, it means it is active, okay? It is active, that means it is already active. We have a layer here. What is the importance of having the layers? Because If you want to create something like a poster, of course you have a background image, you have the subject, you have the text, you have the shapes, and many more things. It means that all these things that you will be using, they will be separated using these layers. For example, the image will be separate, the hands will be separate, how do you call it, the color will be separate, the text will be separate, and the shapes will be separate. This means that when you're doing this, it's very easy for you to understand how to use them. Okay, now for example, I have this color, I have this shape. Then to to have this shape a color, for example, I want to make a Kenyan flag. The moment I come into this shape, I will choose rectangle marquee. This is rectangle marquee. Then I will give it color black. For you to choose color, you have to come to these two colors you see, black and red. Click on them, then they will give you what we call color picker. You can decide on which color you want to use by scrolling the arrows down. If you click on red, there are so much family of red with color codes of red. You can see here the colors change. Okay, and I told you we are using RGB, that's why you see RGB colors is mixed. So this mix, those are the percentage of RGB that has been mixed to give us color red. Now if I select on red, is it black? Then for me to have black in this area here, I have to go and find a brush. A brush is here, it is called paint bucket. After going, this one is like a shop to buy color. I want color black, have your black, then now pick a brush and start painting. This is the brush called paint bucket. It's called paint bucket. After taking the paint bucket, come and paint inside that area. It will only paint on that area. It's called selection. It will only paint inside the selection area. But if to remove the selection, I will click on Ctrl+D. If we don't have the selection, look at what happens. Everything is painted because we don't have anything that tells us where to paint. Okay, now the problem comes here, why I want you to understand how layers work. You see, we have our background and black in one layer. This is the layer, which is very wrong according to graphics and design. This is very wrong. Each layer must be separated, must be independent. Black must be independent, white must be independent. So when you are here working with the layer, which if you don't see, you will come to window and you will get it here, and it will just appear here. What you do in this case, I will Ctrl+Z, or I will just edit, redo this. To remove it, go to edit, undo layer, edit, undo layer, undo layer, edit, redo, no, redo, 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 undo. So no, undo, undo. Yes, we undo, Ctrl+Z until we reach there. We get back to where we were. So here, after you've you've selected your selection rectangular marquee. Draw your shape. Guess we are together to there. After drawing your shape, we don't want to merge this layer with this black shape. We will come on at the bottom here in the layer panel here. You can see a box with a plus. This means add another layer so that that layer will contain color black. So I will add another layer. How many layers now do we have? 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Now the top one is the second layer where black is going to be. I will rename this layer. Okay? To rename this layer, you need to double click on the name layer, not here, because when you double click here, it will give you a different effect option. I will click on the name layer, double click. I will give it a name black. Okay? Now, I need to go to the shop again, get color black, take my paint, which is called here paint bucket, and now paint my shape. And now remove the selection, Control D. Now how many layers we have? We have the layer of the background, the white background layer, and we have the layer of the black. So everything is separated. That is the importance of having layers. Okay? The next thing here is to draw another shape. I will draw another shape. This one. And this time round, I will give it a layer and call it red. I will go to color picker, also you can call it the shop, color picker, and pick color red. Then okay. Then take the brush, which is the paint, we call it paint bucket here because brush is something else. Then paint color red. Just like that. I know you see how easy graphic design is, because you also need to understand how to use colors and how colors are so important and how shapes work. Okay, so that will help you understand more about these shapes. Now we have how many layers? 1, 2, 3. Each layer is independent. Okay, we've not merged them all together. Then I will create another shape here, and this time round I will create another layer and call it green. Double click on the name layer and give it green. Now we have green, but we don't have the color. Let us go and choose let us go and choose color green. And now this is green. Take the paint bucket here and paint it. Now we have the colors. Okay, as a graphic designer, you need to understand the importance of alignment. You need rulers for you to be able to know if your work is aligned straight. How do you get rulers? You go to menu bar on top here, find Windows, view, not Windows, view, rulers. We have them here, or Control plus R. Then we have the rulers here. You can see the rulers. We can see the rulers. Now you can pluck out the ruler, click inside here, take the ruler out. That is the ruler. Take it with the move tool. That is the ruler. Bring it here. Control and plus make you zoom, and you see there's no accuracy, so we'll hold it and bring it back, hold it and bring it back. Now we have some accuracy on your work. Our work is very straight aligned. Okay, now that is this tool. Now we have elliptical tool. It kind of a rounded circle. Okay, let us create it also a layer and call it circle. Okay, because we can turn it oval, we can turn it circle, depends. Now let us give it color blue. Let us give it color blue from the color picker. Take the paint bucket, paint inside it. To remove this selection, click Ctrl and D. Ctrl D. Hold Control, then D. That is how. Now you see we can get so many shapes using rectangular and rectangular marquee. Okay, and elliptical tool. Now, how many shapes do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the background 5. How many layers? 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the background 5. That is what the designer should know when it comes to layers. Layers are so important in design because they give you a space to change whatever you think needs to be rectified or to be corrected or to be changed or to be removed. Another thing that this rectangle will help you. You see this color green. In case we want to cut it, we can just draw there and click delete and we cut it. See? Control D. If you want to cut on this, ensure when you want to do something on any layer, you must have selected that layer. Like this is black. Let me show you. I cannot delete red. That is delete. I'm pressing on delete. I cannot delete red because I'm on layer black. So I have to go to layer black and delete black, or I go to red, delete red, impossible until I select red. Can delete red. Yes, we are together to there. Also, I can delete this shape if I select on it. Okay, you can just delete part of it by selecting it. Now, move tool can help you move it up, move it down, move it side, move it up. That is the work of move tool, as I was saying. Now, the next tool that we have here is rectangle marquee tool. Here, this is the rectangle marquee tool. It helps you select a specific area. Like, for example, if we do this, it will select a specific color that it identifies. It is seeing so many colors. So if we say, let us select green, could not find object to select. Okay, then let us go to red and tell it to select something. You see, it selects red. So this tool here, object selection, will help you select specific object. Inside it there is quick selection. Quick selection, when you click on it, you can do this. You can just select everything with quick selection like this. Then we have next tool, we have crop tool. The crop tool will help you crop what you're doing. You see, For example, we only want to see the background of that part only. That will enable us maybe select only specific area. You see, it's just like a zoom tool that we all know. Okay, crop, most of the people know crop. You can crop this area, only that area, then press enter. We've cropped that area. That is the work of this tool. Then the next tool we have is called rectangular marquee tool. If you draw rectangular marquee tool here, it is very useful because it holds the image inside here and the image does not get out. I will go straight to my machine. I will grab an image here, and if you drop the image inside that shape, you see, you will be able to get that image inside that shape. You see? And you see, if you want to work with that image, you see, if I bring it out, you see it is outside. Look here, it is outside, but now it is outside but short. Okay, it is outside but short. But if you control plus T, you can increase it to the size that you want. You can increase it to the size that you want here. Then look, it is not outside, it is now outside, but if I leave it, it will lost. But if your design wants to look like this, so these shapes just help you hold the image according to its dimension. Okay, now that is how it holds, and it does not need, an image does not need a creation of a layer because it creates its layer automatically. Also, some of these shapes, we have some that creates their own layer automatically, and we'll come to that. Now, we don't need you now. Thank you. Let us now go to this guy called rectangular, is called eyedropper. Eyedropper. The work of the eyedropper, it selects the color for you and tell you which color is that. For example, if I want to know this color, see what is happening here. For instance, I want to know the color code of this blue. You see, it's 3314 CF. What about the color code of this red? Point and click is E9 1414. What about the color code of this black? Is 0000. What about the color code of this white? Is FFFFF. So if you don't know the color code of a color, the moment you paste the color here, you bring the color on your working area, and you pick eyedropper, then you are able to know what it does, or it is able to show you the color codes. As I said, RGB is a primary, these are primary colors that mix colors for you to get other colors. We have primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary colors. We have different types of colors. We have oblique colors. So there are so many. We will do colors. I will show you also how to blend colors. Now, that is the work of eyedropper. Now, we have this guy called rectangular marquee tool. Not rectangular marquee, but spot healing tool. Sorry, spot healing tool. The work of spot healing tool. For example, you have an image. Let us go and bring an image. How do you bring an image first? Go to File. Scroll down to Place Embed. place embedded, click, then try to look for this image. Let us find this image here and place it. Now let us make it bigger by holding on these anchor points and dragging it down to have the. Now, as I was talking about the raster image, this is a raster image. You see, if the image is looking like this, as an image that is raining, this we call it in graphics and design raster image. Don't worry, the image has not lost quality. The moment you upload an image into Photoshop, when it is still being held by Photoshop, it looks so much blurry. Then you need to press enter on your keyboard and all is well. Now I will right click on the layer. You see the image creates in its layer automatically. You don't need to create the layer of an image when you importing the image. So I will rasterize the image first, because there is something that you can see here. This thing is not for graphics, so I need to remove it by right click, find option called rasterize layer here. Then now, how is spot healing work? I want you to pay attention here. When a lady maybe is applying for a job and they ask for passport, but he has so many dents, spot healing can help them maybe remove all the dents, all the pimples, all the marks on their face. So we've clicked and chose spot healing. There is type of brush, the size of brush. Just when you go to the shop, you ask for the size of the brush. Now here we have this size of the brush that is on our screen is very small. Let us increase the size by going here. That is 30, that is 39, that is 40. This is big size now, enough. This is the pimple here. When we click on this pimple, look at what happens. The pimple is removed. The pimple is removed. Okay? The pimple is removed. We are removing the pimple. Look. You see? We are removing the pimples. Then we will control plus, control minus, or zoom out. You see the pimples are gone. The pimples are gone. We can also remove these pimples here. We can make it to be smoother. You see, we're making the lady to be smooth. And that is how the spot healing brush work. You make somebody come back to reality. You see, we had so many pimples here, but spot healing tool has made the lady now look at least nice. So you can use the spot healing tool in so many ways. In case you have to do something with spot healing, there are so many ways you can do. Now, with layers too, if you don't want to see these layers, just want to disable them, you can click the eye tool that you see aside of it. If I click that eye tool, it disappears. It doesn't mean you've deleted it, but sometimes if you need it, you just click the eye tool back. So I will close them for now because I've already used them. Or you can still delete them by click it and come here to the bin, click the bin and delete the layer green. Yes. Come to the bin, delete the layer red. Yes. And I will disable the image. To remove the ruler, that is removing. Of course, you're using move tool. Come to move tool. Just go straight to ruler. You can't move it as you think, but the icon will change. Just look at the change. That. Don't move it with this. Move it with this icon. that points on both sides, then drag it, click and drag it out. We've removed the ruler. Next, we have brush tool. The work of the brush tool, let us create a layer for the brush tool. The work of the brush tool is to create things like effects. We can have different effects. We can have different effects like that is an effect, that is an effect, that is an effect, that is an effect. So some of the time you might need to understand what are brushes. Brushes are things like cloud, fire is a brush, cloud is a brush, sun in graphic design is a brush, rain is a brush, because when you want to make maybe the rain raining, you need brushes. When you want to make something rain or the sun, I will show you brushes in. So this is where I get the image. So just go to your browser and type Photoshop brushes. Here are Photoshop brushes. You can choose Brushizi. Brushizi is good. Brushizi is most of the people use Google brushes. Okay, when you see people using how do you call them, people designing things like the rain, something like with effect like this or like this one, fire effects. Like for example, in advertisements, we have things like thunder. Look at thunder, lightning. Yes, these are lightning. These are brushes. Fire brush. Let me see. Fire. In Photoshop, we call them brushes. These are brushes. Okay. You download them and to use them. We can also download rain. We can also download rain. This is a rain brush. Forest. You can also have forest as a brush. Trees, forest. Okay. For those who are doing matatu graffiti, they are still graphic designer. You can still have graphics brushes here. Maybe tier. Let's see tier. Is it teardrop? I don't know how to spell that. I don't know. Yeah, we have it here. This is a brush, you see. Maybe you are in a matatu industry, you're doing graphics and design for the matatu, you need brushes. You can still do them here. Let us do something else, like understand more about brush. Maybe cloud. These are the clouds. As a graphic designer, if you want to make cloud, you just combine brushes and the blue color. You get the sky and the cloud. And that is how brushes are made. And now, here, if you want to make a brush, we'll just work with the size of the brush we want. And you see, we have the brush. And we can even make the brush be in color yellow by choosing color yellow here. Yellow to represent the sun. You see, it is not, why is it called brush? It is not rounded as the circle. Look at the difference between them. This one is a brush, this one is a shape. This one is a brush, this one is a shape. You need to understand that. Now, I will delete the brush. The next shape is this guy called rectangle, not rectangle, this clone stamp tool. This tool is very powerful. I will bring another image so that I show you how that tool works. I will go to File, Place, Embed, choose the image. I will choose the image of the dog, place it here. Nice. In this tool, I want the ears of this dog to be the same as this. Okay? But before, I always ensure my layers are rasterized. So I right click, rasterize. So after that, I will click on Shift. I will click on Alt, sorry, to copy. I want it to be like this. So I will copy here, then I will come here and draw. You see, it's drawing exactly what is on the other side. You see, it is drawing what is on the other side. So on that, you just have to be accurate. Alt, that way. Then if you come here, you see it's going back. So we will do Alt again. Alt, start from here. You see? So if you do it wrongly, it will give you different shapes and another shape for another dog. You see? That is what you should not do. That is the work of clone. Then we have history brush tool. History brush tool is also a very powerful tool, and what it does, it can history brush tool can give you some blend of the brush. You see, it can give you some blend. You see now the light is coming from this, like this light. We can also work with the brush to give it more, you see, more additional effects. So that is history brush. Now we have another tool called eraser tool. Just as the name suggests, you can still expand its size and erase, just the way you always erase with a pencil. It is also erase the same. That is eraser tool. Then we have this paint bucket here, which has gradient. If you pick on gradient and you just draw a line like this here, look, that is what we called gradient. Gradient and two colors. Gradients are two colors that give effect to each other without creating a line, a focused line. These are lines that get into other lines pamoja. Now, next shape, we have this blur tool. Okay, blur tool also, you can increase the size of the blur. Okay, you can increase the size of the blur tool and work with it as you blur the image. Okay, now the next stage is, let us reduce the size of the blur. Yes, now let us go to the next stage, which is dodge tool. Dodge tool is just, let me increase the size. Most of you will see me increasing the size. We have this burn tool. Burn tool is to maybe create some effects. You see, have some shadow for an image to look realistic, because you just don't you don't just make an image then you leave it like that without showing us where the light is coming from. We then have dodge tool also. Dodge tool also will give you some effect. So look at that. It creates more light. If the light was coming from this side, it means we will use burn tool on this side because there was no light on this side. See? Then we will create more light on this side. You can see we have darkness on this side and we have light on the other side. Then we have next tool, we have pen tool. Pen tool is a very great tool. Most of the designer don't like pen tool. So pen tool is for cutting or cutting the edges or creating shapes. Okay, so for you to start cutting, maybe I don't want this background, I only want the dog. So you have to create a selection along the edges of the dog. So for example, I will create a selection using pen tool, click, then click, I'm clicking Alt to redefine, click Alt to reduce that. I will not be accurate because I'm training. You see what I'm doing? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Nice. So just be that way, but there are still many ways to remove the background, but this I'm just showing you how pen tool is also powerful and can also help you. Now I have rounded the dog. The next thing that I will do, I will right click at the center and make selection. Remember, selection is this. This is the selection. If I click on delete, then I will delete the dog, meaning I want to use the background. But if I don't want to use the background, I will come here and create a layer mask, and I remain with the dog. You can rewind the video and try again to see how to use this pen tool. This pen tool, after clicking point 1, go to point B and hold, don't leave. Drag down, you can create a shape. Drag up, you can create a shape. Drag this side, you can create a shape. I'm still holding on the left key. Okay, I'm still holding on the left button key of the mouse. So don't click and leave. Look at the way I'm controlling everything. Yes. Then now, if I want this shape like that, then I leave it now. You see, I've created this shape using what? Pen tool. Now next, this tool here is called type tool. Type tool will help you type wording that you want. For example, we are in Nairobi, Kenya. Okay, we are in Nairobi, Kenya. Then you can't see the text visually right. Just highlight or Control A. Then on top here, on this menu, optional menu, the type tool has its own settings. Here we can increase the size. Here we can reduce the size. Here we can make it 48. Okay, here we can choose the font family. Then here we can change the strongness, boldness, and thickness. Here you can either take it center, right, or left. Okay, here we can warp it. We can warp it to fit here. See, warping it to fit. This is how you warp: vertically, horizontally. You can also blend it according to what you wish. Okay, yes, you can also choose fish, arc shape. You can also choose arch, dodge, shell, flag. There are so many shapes inside that is fish. So that is type tool. In type tool 2, we have other tools. Inside type tool, we can say vertical typing. Vertical typing is Nairobi is good. You are typing vertically, horizontally. Okay, this is vertically, this is horizontally. Those are type tools. Then here we have path selection. Path selection will help you, because we've cut this dog here. Path selection will help you select paths. Paths are the points at the edge of the image. We call them paths. If maybe you've sliced this area wrongly, you can be able to reduce it or extend it. Then next we have other shapes. We have a rectangle. With this one, the good thing with this ones, you don't need to create a layer. You just pick a shape, then the layer is created automatically. You see, layer is created automatically, and the color is pasted automatically too. You don't have to select, and you can only change the color that you need. I will take the paint bucket and paint that color, that is red. Come here and pick another rounded rectangle, that is rounded rectangle. Come here and pick a ellipse tool. If you draw like this, it will be oval. If you hold on shift, it will be circle. Okay, then inside here we have polygonal. With polygonal, it's always give you 5 sided shapes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you can still change. I can say I want 10 on top here. On the tool setting, I want 10. Let's see. You see, I have a shape with 10 points. Then we have line tool. Just as the name suggests, we have line tool, but you have to select on, click on the line for you to be able to get a straight line. Okay, yes. Now this is hand tool. The work of hand tool is not like move tool. Hand tool is to move. Hand tool is to move. For example, you see, you've zoomed your project at that level, but you're not seeing some parts. Hand tool will help you move it. But move tool will only help you move shapes. Hand tool will help you move the entire artwork. After that, we have zoom, and minus means zoom, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. And this is called the color bucket, where all the color mixture is done. Color picker, where all the color mixture is done. Okay, now you understand. Now we'll delete everything. I will delete everything and remain with the empty background or I can just delete all the layers, and remain with the background layer. Now, up to there, you know how the tools work, and you can be able to work with the tool as it works. Now, we will be now making posters, making business cards, making different designs, books, covers, and all that. But you need to know how to create your own. Thank you so much. In our next video, before we start designing anything, why don't we jump on the principles of design and how they work before we start designing? Because a designer is that who knows the principles. A lawyer is not a person who knows the country, is a person who understands the laws that govern the country. A judge is not somebody who judges you directly, but a person who understands the rules on how to judge you. So let us understand the rules of design. See you in the next video. And I guess now you understand graphics and design tools and the interface of Adobe Photoshop, and you now understand the working area where I am right now. This is a working area because it is color white, and the size dimension of this place here is A4, because you see from top to down is longer than left to right. So this paper is A4 portrait because it is straight. For us to get A4 landscape, we will need to have this to 10 go down. To 10 go down now. To 10 go down. To 10. Okay. Now we have the landscape. Now look, this is portrait, this is landscape, portrait, landscape. So right now I am on a portrait. Now this area here is a landscape. This area here, I am inside a portrait. I am inside a landscape, and I just told you left to right, if it is long enough than top to bottom, that is considered landscape, and if top to bottom is long enough, that is considered portrait. The A4 paper that you use in the cyber, this is it. They can either print something in this format or in this format. So thank you very much for having a view on this video. I know you will now learn this. You will now learn these tools and be able to be somebody who is able to manage the tools. This was Adobe Photoshop. Let me see you next into understanding the principles and the objective of the design. Asante sana, thank you so much. This is Masco, and Trainer Masco tells you this: you don't need to be a designer. Understand the design.